getting money from foundations that you have not even vetted. It must be, and the most embarrassing thing, I don't know why you're doing this to us. Maybe I was saying to one of my colleagues here, you are really answering like a person who's going on retirement. It's like you don't care. You don't care what happens. How do you come here and you say you don't know who gave you 50-something million? You have not researched them? What if these people are chaired by Ket Matlala? And you're going to hear it for the first time sitting here, that you're actually receiving money in kind that goes through a foundation that is chaired by Pet Matlala. And then you say, I don't know. I don't know that. For an institution like NPA, you ought to take very serious who becomes your partner, both in monetary terms and even in kind. We were sitting.
Just want to raise my discontent on the observation that I've made. I think we're having a stagnant interview with the NDPP, because earlier when I was speaking to her, I had put to her the powers that she has to supervise IDEC and the DPPs. Ultimately, we agreed and she undertook to improve in future. That is where we left it. Now, when Honorable Mateus asked her about what she did after she learned about what happened in IDEC, she says she goes back to the same position that she was in, to say, no, that is an IDEC issue, I can't intervene, you must let people do their work. So really, I'm very disappointed, because I thought we were getting somewhere with the NDPP. Now the question is, NDPP, is IDEC an entity falling under the NPA?
Yes.
Do you have a responsibility to supervise it?
I do, within the context of the law.
How often do they submit reports to you?
I get monthly reports from the IDAC.
You get monthly report. Do you agree with me if I say, notwithstanding monthly reports that they submit to you, you also have a statutory responsibility to summon any report regarding any prosecution and any case that you deem necessary at that time? The statutes, the NPA Act gives you that power.
You're correct.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Shong.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to ask about this regarding the matter of this funding. You see, Chair, it is known that throughout the world, intelligence agencies usually channel funds through this organization. They never fund an individual or government directly. They fund through these agencies. The crux of the matter is that this foundation channels funds on behalf of chairmen which are hostile on our system. So I beg to understand, accepting such fund, where is it helping us? And if I may ask, is this German fund that you guys are talking about, did they fund the CR17 campaign? And just one last question, why is Maumela not arrested, even Namanj? Thank you, Chair.
On the first question, I explained when I was asked about the very bespoke training that we are putting together, where modules have been developed for prosecutors to really strengthen their ability to prosecute complex corruption cases. So this is helping us in that regard, and it's also about sharing and learning best practices from other parts of the world, so that we can also improve by taking on some of those practices. On the CR17 campaign, I don't know. I don't have that information. And on Maumela, once the police have investigated that matter properly, I don't know at what stage of the investigation it is. I have no information about it. But no doubt the prosecutors are working with the police and on this big matter. And when the evidence meets the standard, I'm sure they will do what is required of them.
Honorable Skosana. Thank you, Chair. Advocate, I'm disappointed as well, like my other colleague. It's not personal. That
I don't take it personally.
that you don't want to take accountability for anything. The issue of IDEC, that it falls under you. When IDEC fails, it means you have failed. Am I right?
You're right.
Now, the issue of funding, I wanted to make that follow up. Because we've seen in this country, I'll give you this small background for a second, that there's an organization in this country called civil society called themselves different foundation, Helen Suzman, there was Brent Hest, I think it's disbanded. You have your one apartheid judge, Judge Krichler, running a so-called corruption watch, and others, you know, who have been funded. Now, if NPA, besides the issue of Steinhoff, because I think NPA explained about that the money went to DPCI, you know, that 80 million of Steinhoff. And I'm not sure whether we were told the truth there as well. But be that as it may, are you not worried? And if I may ask, perhaps for us to be quick on this one, how much have you received, or NPA have received so far in terms of funding? And which organization, in terms of names, who funded, if there's any, who has funded NPA?
NPA does not receive any funding at all. I want to be very clear about that. NPA does not receive any money, but we receive services. And these are disclosed in our annual report. We're very transparent about this.
Yeah, but let me say this to you. Service, there's value on service. There's nothing for free. I mean, a person might want favors, like what Judge Mkhweng, the former Chief Justice, said, that there's no free lunch. And I'm saying, I can say I'm volunteering, but volunteering, at the end of the day, there's value for money in that. You know, you might not quantify it now and say X amount of money, you know, these people have spent so much. Steinhoff was very clear that we are putting 30 million rand for you to give Price Waterhouse for forensic investigation. But with you, what we are saying now, I'm not disputing that, but I'm saying, in the high side, don't you think that indeed as well, the state must be able to cater for its own citizens? Citizens are paying tax in this country. You know, I know funding, because remember, Advocate, that one day you'll be funded by drug dealers. They say, no, we are offering a service. We're not giving you money. We'll send X, you know, we've got a professional, we've got advocate so-and-so, we've got a professor so-and-so, we've got doctor so-and-so. They want to come and help NPA. But those people who have been seconded to you have been funded by drug cartels. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I should say that we are not oblivious to the fact that we must make sure that there are safeguards to ensure that there's no such thing as any form of capture. The NPA must do its job without fear, favor, or prejudice. And we have always, disclosed our donations or whether you're right, it does have a monetary value to it, but we do not receive funding, and we are transparent about any support and assistance that we get from external partners. And I do want to emphasize, we are required, we have to have safeguards to ensure that we are not beholden to anyone, even to people that assist us with funding. And therefore, we've put in place safeguards to ensure that. And in a financially and fiscally constrained environment, we need to ensure that we have all the skills, capacities, and we try to be innovative about how we do it so that we can deliver to the people of this country. And your last point, I agree with you 200%. The state must be able to fund and pay for all our services. And if we don't have the levels of corruption in this country where people are stealing blind from the people of this country, we shouldn't have to go to anybody for any support.
Honorable Malema.
No, thanks, Chair. I was not going to ask any question, but I've got a big problem where you earlier said you don't need money, you are sorted. Maybe in the future years you'll need money. And then you go and take money in kind from the Germans. That is a huge contradiction. Because if there was a need for any kind of training to be provided by NPA, you would have budgeted for that to avoid getting money from foundations that you have not even vetted. It must be, and the most embarrassing thing, I don't know why you're doing this to us. Maybe I was saying to one of my colleagues here, you are really answering like a person who's going on retirement. It's like you don't care. You don't care what happens. How do you come here and you say you don't know who gave you 50-something million? You have not researched them? What if these people are chaired by Ket Matlala? And you're going to hear it for the first time sitting here, that you're actually receiving money in kind that goes through a foundation that is chaired by Pet Matlala. And then you say, I don't know. I don't know that. For an institution like NPA, you ought to take very serious who becomes your partner, both in monetary terms and even in kind. We were sitting here, we had evidence of Matlala being solicited to finance a presidential campaign of one of the ministers. And therefore, it can't be far that NPA can also be captured by the same people. So I'm really saying, Advocate, you have done a disservice to us. You tell us you don't need money. You are rocking. You are cruising nicely. You can try next year. Maybe other years. This year we're fine. Then you come, you say you take in donations in kind from the Germans. And you keep on saying to us, we're not receiving any funding, as if we don't know the difference between donation in kinds and donation in money. It doesn't matter whatever form it takes. It has got monetary value, and you have accepted it after you said to us, you don't need money. To an extent that Advocate Bredenbach said, oh, we shouldn't fight for you in the Justice Department for more money. Because it should be something that we pride ourselves with, that we don't take money from foreign countries for the sake of our own sovereignty as a state, especially an institution like NPA. The last point I want to make again, Advocate, you say, we ask you about Maumela. It's such a huge case. Actually, we must be embarrassed that cars are taken, houses are paraded, and all of that. There's no criminal case. And then we ask you, when are you coming for Maumela? You say, when police are ready. That is a pure, completely pure than white corruption case of a hospital called Tembisa. Why should we be told about police when IDEC deals with those matters? It is IDEC that should have actually even developed an interest on its own that this is too huge to be left. These are the kind of cases we want. As a head of NPA that IDEC falls under, surely you should have developed an interest and said to IDEC, 680 million gone to skinny jeans, a hospital ordering skinny jeans, and a head of NPA, it doesn't matter, head of IDEC. You are the corruption buster yourself because all of them fall under you. You should be able to say, come here. What happened with this case of people buying patients' skinny jeans? Because when we go to hospitals, we normally get those gowns which are open at the back. What does a patient do with a skinny jean? That should have been an issue of interest for a corruption buster. We're asking you, what are we doing up? We say, no, when police are ready, when it's ripe, then it will come to us and all of that. That's not a matter to be left to police. That's a typical example of cases that IDEC should be dealing with, not human resource. We have a case here, a big case of human resource, that a CV does not have an address or something like that. It's a criminal case. But here is a case of 680 million, close to $1 billion, only that which we can account for now. And worse, through this body, not asset forfeiture unit, the one of Kaiser Khanyawa and them. SIU. We hear from SIU that we are now sitting at almost 680 million. That's what SIU can uncover. Imagine if IDEC is there, crime intelligence is there, we're going to get more than $1 billion of one individual involved in corruption. The head of NPS says, well, we don't know, we'll wait for the police. That's so disappointing to tell the truth. Thanks.
If I can deal with that, there are two parts. Firstly, on the German funding, just to say that this project was a long time coming. It's not like we initiated it now. It's probably taken about 3 to 4 years to come to fruition. So it started at a time when we really needed the funding. So, you know, it took about 3 or 4 years before that came to fruition. It's not a new thing. So on the issue of IDAC, I agree with you that these are the kinds of cases that IDAC should be doing. IDAC has got limited resources at the moment. They are barely able to deal with the cases that they want. And I think this is the role of this committee, would be to strengthen IDAC, to give them the resources and all of the capacities, capabilities that they need. Because I agree with you completely. This is the kind of case that IDAC should be investigating. Thank you.
So can you please withdraw your earlier statement that you don't need funding? You are sorted because now you just confirmed you need funding. IDEC is funded through you. You need money. And please withdraw the earlier statement that you don't need money.
I do withdraw that statement.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, we have come to the end of this session.